Al Johnson today for this presentation. So to get started, I'd like to have Jim come on up right now. And I'd like you all to give him a nice hand.
This is when I soloed down at Wright Airport in 1967. This is not the plane I flew in. A friend of mine's Navy on, but I'd rather have my picture taken with the Navy on versus the 150. So anyway, it was in February, and actually I started flying earlier than that, but when I went to school I had to take a break and wasn't able to get back to flying until I started working up here in St. Louis. Now, it was real difficult flying around in St. Louis at that time. As you can see, the TCAs were just all over the place. Oh, wait a minute, there's none there. But I flew out of Wright Airport down in South County. Also a little place called Motor Field. Anybody else know about that field? Yeah, about 800 feet, and you had to shoot pigs off the runway when you went to land. So, now back in Alice, my first flight was in a 172. That was actually in 65, but I didn't solo those years because I ended up going to school. But that airplane is still down in Texas and still flying. So one of these days, maybe I'll catch up with it and try to fly it again. Throughout my career, I've done a lot of things. Some of the most exciting things is, attending all the flooding out here at Creve Coeur. Wading through the water, having fun cleaning out the hangars, and watching all the fish swim up the runway. It was quite an ordeal. Of course, I only lived through one big one. There's a lot here that lived through several, especially like in '93 when the hangars were just about flooded all the way to the top. But at that time I was flying out at St. Charles Municipal Airport. And one of the reasons I love flying is just the fun of flying, even when it's below zero. Except I don't fly that usually when it's that cold. But I love flying in the fall. I like flying in the spring. I've done a lot of trips, and just mainly all my flying is not for the airlines, because when I was first training, I wore pretty heavy glasses. The airlines didn't like glasses that thick, so thank goodness for cataract surgery, got rid of some of that. So one of the things I've done for over the years is I've flown up to Oshkosh many times. My L-16, I think I've been up there at least 12 to 14 times, somewhere around in there. Had my grandkids up there, my family up there. Half of Creve Coeur is up there most of the time. So it's a good meeting place. And some of the fun times up there, gathering around, talking about the aircraft, having barbecues in the evenings, watching the storms roll in, worrying about the hailstorms, whether or not your airplane is going to be still in one piece afterwards. And one thing I really enjoyed while I was up there was volunteering. I drove a tram in the Warbird section. I did that for 15 years and had a great time doing that. Met a lot of good people. Got to camp there right on the Warbird campsite, and so had a great time doing that. And of course, like I said, me and my partner Pat and my son and and another friend of mine, Mike Petrello, flew this L-16 up there at least 14 times. We had a great time. It's a great airplane. Pat and I worked on it for about a year and a half, and we bought it in 2001, and in 2003, we flew it up to Oshkosh 30 days after we finished. Yeah, again, here's the L-16, my pride and joy. Great times. The one picture over here is my flight with my granddaughter for her first flight. And I had a real good friend to pull up beside me and take that picture. I didn't know he was going to do it, but it turned out to be one of the better pictures that I've got in my collection. I've got a couple of thousand of them. That was Haley. Yeah, Haley. Now she's 17. And of course, got to fly with my son, my wife. I'm really proud that my son now flies, and he's also got his A&P and IA, which he just got here recently. So that makes me as proud as can be. So, and then this here is actually this group here. We met a lot of times on planning for Oshkosh, but this was actually the group that came in with the electric airplane and was here for a while and was operating out at Boeing at that time. So, but you know, we met many a times with different groups discussing all types of different things, what's the latest in aviation, and all the great things that goes on out here at Creve Coeur. And I like to say, here we are, we've got Phil here talking to him. Just another good day at Creve Coeur. Oh yeah, my grandson is back there in the background. And you know, after flying all day and going into the office and talking so much, you got to wind down a little bit. That picture on the right there was actually from, I believe, I think it was my 65th birthday, I believe, which has been a few days ago. And here I am with Mike Petrello's L2. Pat and I and Mike redid the wings. The fuselage and all that had already been done. We put it together. Mike flew it up to Oshkosh. And what'd you win with that, Mike?
Best liaison.
Yeah. So
2013.
So just more heritage of. I love old aircraft. I love tail draggers, and so that was actually my very first airplane I owned was an L2, but I couldn't find any pictures of it. And here's some of the airplanes I own or have owned. The Chief over there on the left-hand side, I bought that back in the 70s. I actually got that up at Juliet, Illinois, and flew it back here for restoration. I hate to say it, but it had about 2 rolls of duct tape on it when I flew it back. Didn't lose one, it was airworthy all the way. And the Lescom that Jimmy and I own that, and Jimmy does most of the flying of that nowadays. And we got my Emerald project we're working on, hope to have it done early summer so we can fly it up to Oshkosh and Blakesburg.
Okay, let me kind of take back over for a few minutes here. You have to have letters of recommendation before I can process these awards. So Pat, Ken, and Mike, are any of you folks here today? Please stand up. Can you tell me who's who there?
I'm Kenneth Webb.
Mike McCall.
And I got pictures from Pat for this presentation, helping me put it together. So everybody give him a nice hand, that's really nice. As a token of appreciation for your sacrifice and commitment in support of your spouse's 50 years of flying, the Federal Aviation Administration and the FAST team would like to present you with the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. You want to hang on to your letter? To you, on behalf of the Federal Aviation Administration, I take great pride in presenting the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award to you in recognition of your 50 years of aeronautical experience as an aviator. This award was initiated by the Federal Aviation Administration in honor of the first pioneers of flight, Wilbur and Orville Wright. In doing so, we are recognizing and honoring those individuals who have contributed and maintained safe flight operations for 50 years. Like you, they are pilots who have brought the aviation industry forward for the enjoyment and benefits of future generations of men and women. I extend to you the best wishes for your future endeavors. So this is your certificate in recognition of 50 years of exemplary aviation flight experience, distinguished professionalism, and steadfast commitment to aviation safety. And you all can take a look at this after the presentation.